All right, so we've got a character in our Unity stage, and we have our idle animation in there. And now we're going to start building out the motion trees that we need to get our character moving around. So now that we've got our idle animation in here, next thing we can do is think about walking. So I have a walk animation here. If I click it and I play it, you see that I'm walking along. I've done a couple of settings in here just to make sure that I have my loop pose matching, that my transform and Y is baked in, and a couple of different things. Now your mileage may vary based on how you did your animation, so I just have a simple walk here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this in to here, and if I put it in and I hit play, you'll see that nothing happens, right? And if I create a transition in here by right-clicking and say make transition and bring it up to walk, and I hit play again, what will happen is we'll go through an idle, and it should transition directly up into here to the walk, and then the walk will keep looping and I won't be able to stop. So at least it's a quick way to tell that we are in fact working. Now what we could do is create a series of animations to get our walk and our run in here. But this isn't exactly what we want to do. What we want to do is start creating a more complex state right away. Let me delete that. And actually I'm going to delete these out of here. Because if we remember our what we'd like to do is we want to blend from an idle to a walk to a run. And so the way we can do that is to create a blend tree. So, and we'll talk about transitions in a little bit, but first we want to create a blend tree, and we can do this by right-clicking in our mechanism stage and creating a state from a new blend tree. Now this blend tree I'm just going to go ahead and call locomotion, and I'm going to go ahead and double click on it, and you'll see that it brings us into a state like this. And in this state we have our character just hovering because there's no animation in here. This is a really good time to start adding some of our parameters that we're going to want to use to animate our character. In this case I'm going to add by clicking on the plus button, I'm going to add a float, and I'm going to call it magnitude. And I'm going to add another float, and I'm going to call it angle. I'm going to go ahead and delete, I'm going to come into our blend tree, and I'm going to set that our parameter here is going to be set to magnitude. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this blend. We don't need it. So this blend tree is going to be based on magnitude. And so here, again, looking at this diagram, you can see that we're going to move through idle to walk to run by transitioning through this blend tree. And so we're going to use this parameter of magnitude, which will eventually be controlled by the joystick. So what we want to do is add motions into here. And so we can do this here. I'm going to say add a motion field. I'm going to add 3, just like this. And with these 3 motions, I have an idle that I want to bring into here. Oops. There we go. Idle. And I have walk. And I have run. So if I just bring those in and do nothing, I've set my parameter of magnitude. What you'll see is I can hit play, and this idle is just my idle state without any animation on it. And if we blend from an animated idle state, things get a little strange sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I can just now ramp up this magnitude, and you'll see up here how we're going to start doing this blend. It's going to blend. This is our idle state here, blending away. This is our walk state, blending into full power at 0.5, and then blends away. And then this is our run state. And they're just here, and these thresholds are set automatically if you have this checkbox. And as we move this around, you can see that we can roll back into idle and start moving forward into our walk, and then eventually into our goofy run. So that is how a blend tree works. Just like that. So now that that's done, we can make our first transition out of our idle state and into this locomotion state. So coming back here to our base layer, we can now right-click here, make transition to here, and we're going to select this transition. And down here, we're going to create a condition that says if magnitude is greater than 0.1, just like that, and make a transition back. And here, this transition is, I'll create here, if magnitude is less than 0.1. So that essentially means, oh, and very importantly, uncheck has exit time here. If you do that, it will always wait to the end of the animation to blend out. So with these set, what that essentially means is that as our magnitude gets higher, we will get out of the idle state and into the locomotion state. And that locomotion state will then take over all the blending between the walk and the run. And then as we lower our magnitude, it will go back out to the idle. So for this, I'm actually going to back way out here so we can see our character moving around. Actually, what I'll do is I'll play and I'll move to our scene so we can watch this play out. And you can see once again that our idle is transitioning here. We're not moving up to the locomotion simply because our magnitude isn't, our transitional state isn't reached, right, which is greater than 0.1. So if we raise this to 0.2, you'll see that we've blended to locomotion and our character has started walking. At 0.5, we're walking at our full walk, and at 1, we're now running. So let me put that back down to 0.2, and we'll find our character again. He's still walking along. And finally, we can put in 0, and you can see that we stop there. And you can massage these transition times in order to help blend your character in and out of these states from one to the other. And these magnitudes, you don't want these to be too small because joysticks all have different default values that they start on. All right, so I'm going to stop this. We'll run back to our character here. Where is he? Okay. And now that we've got our basic locomotion and our first set of parameters in, I'm going to stop the video here, and then we're going to talk about turns in the next video.